Shalom. How you doing? How are you guys doing today? So, Mr. Israel Ibarra, how was service last night with your father? I knew you were going to say something like that. It was good. It was nice. So, but that's straight. That's how it is when it's ex-sister. How was your week? Good. All right, cool. Did anything interesting? No. All right. You like being alive? Sometimes. Okay, that's cool. Be praying for these two gentlemen I'm working with. That Shalom, Latoya. You guys gonna like it today. It's news day. We will be hitting scriptures, but I'm behind in news. So if you want more of the scriptures, we have the other services and whatnot. But we do need to deal with news. But thank the Almighty. Be praying for some people we're working on. My cousin Terry, his wife, his children, Sister Gia, Nadora, Amber, Fisher, Reed. Those people I'm trying to get them on the Zooms. We've been working with them. We really want them to come to the Almighty. One, Sister G is already in Almighty, but want them to come all the way, man. Come all the way and get on the Almighty's payroll. You know, it's one thing you say you believe. Rappers say they believe. Anyone, gangsters say they believe. You know, they believe in a higher power, but it's one thing to be on his payroll. You know, you could be a fan of a football team, but you're not a part of the team. You know what I'm saying? You could buy all the season tickets, all you want, and reading. That's the equivalent of reading your Bible, and that's buying season tickets. Until you get on the payroll, until you come out into that field, until you there, then hey, it's time to quit standing on the sidelines and get in the game. Fully commit ourselves to the Most High. Knowing that our part-time job is what we use to provide resources to our family. That's our job, right? Whether I do sheet metal, whether you do whatever, electrician, whatever, right? That's your part-time job. Your full-time job is serving the Most High. And always remember that. Our full-time job is serving the Most High. So praying for those individuals. We do Zoom Sabbath night. Jump on the mic. We do Zooms. It's on Messenger. It's on WhatsApp. We have, what's the other one? Zooms. Our numbers, our stateside number, 619-501-1375. So whether Messenger, WhatsApp, Zooms, hit us up anytime if you have some questions. We just chop it up. We just fellowship. Wherever, we get into the book, if we're talking about a subject or someone has a question, good opportunity not only to meet the brothers and sisters at True Hebrews United. This is my picture of bread because we're about to break bread, right? So it's a good opportunity to meet some brothers and sisters and be like-minded. At the end of the day, whether you guys want to admit it or not, you just want to be loved. Like when people join a gang or in sorority, it's not necessarily like, oh, but you want to surround yourself around people that you feel care about you. And that's the whole purpose of the body of Hamashiach, because you're trying to make it into the kingdom and you want to surround yourself by people that's walking the same path. That's trying to live holy, trying to live righteous. When you go through a breakup with your mom and dad because you tell them, I'm not coming to Christmas anymore or Thanksgiving. And your grandma you haven't seen in 5 years is flying out here and you're not going to come to Thanksgiving. No, it's against the Most High. And you're going through that stress or anxiety or that drama with your family that you could be with brothers and sisters that went through the same thing. Like my mom shunned me. I was a black sheep. Once I came to truth and I said, I'm not observing that. Don't send my children presents. I'm not sending you guys presents. I'm not participating in that. It's like they disowned me. And I had to bear that burden by myself. I had brothers and sisters, but they were, kind of far off. I wasn't that close with them. But to be there and have the support when you're going through a financial struggle, you don't got to run up your credit card. You got brothers and sisters, and yeah, you'll pay them back and stuff like that. But you have a support team. You have your congregation. You have brothers and sisters that really like you, that really care for your physical and your spiritual. And so many people run from a congregation because, I get it. There's some false churches out there. There's people that just use you for money and stuff like that. But when you're around people that generally care for your welfare and care for your children and want the best for you, that's what's the whole goal. This is why we're so strong as a unit. It says 1 could chase 1,000, 2 could chase 10,000. I will not be as strong as I am without my wife. No matter how good you could fight, no matter how much money you make, no matter how, it doesn't matter. You will always be a stronger man if you had a wife. A man with a wife will always be stronger than a man without a wife. Because what happens when you're sick? Your wife takes care of you. Or what happens when you go to the hospital and you get that news? Or what happens if you fall off a ladder and now you're paralyzed? You're paraplegic, right? Your wife got your back, and vice versa. Like, there's certain things. Not only that, how can you build a legacy? You have to have children. And for that, you need a wife to help you raise the children. Certain things, it says, 2 could chase 10,000. For a man to think that he's strong outside of having a wife, yeah, you will be. Elon Musk isn't married. I'm not saying you can't be successful in this world, but you just will not be as strong as you could be. And a woman without a head will not be as strong as a woman that has a head. Because one day you're going to hear a bump in the night and she's 45 years old and maybe she'll pull that shotgun and defend herself. But the pictures I've seen for house robberies, it's never one. It's like 6 of them. They're like, yeah, we got a delivery from you. And right when they open the door, bang, and what comes out? Like 5 or 6 more people come into that house and rob you, tie you up. It's not just, whoa. No, you're going to full on go into a firefight. It's not just, I shot one guy, he was running out with my TV. No, she's like, watch the videos. It's like 6 of them. Not 2 and not no 3. You know what I'm saying? And hey, if you want a head, you know what I'm saying? You have provision, protection, counseling, guidance, someone that's going to be there for you when your mom or dad dies. You could go to your husband and he could be that shoulder or that person you could vent, that different perspective that you didn't see. Plenty of times where I'm like, man, I'm going to just deal with this. Like, well, have you considered that? Prime example. My kids were graduating school. How much time we got? And then we're about to get into the book. I'll go quick, right? I was like, why do we have to pay for this ceremony? We just want our kids to get the diploma because they're graduating elementary. They're not going to go to the prom because it's, or something like that, because it's on the Sabbath. Just give us our diploma, but we have to pay the full $200 or something that covers their ceremony dinner or something like that, right? And we didn't understand, but then a sister said, there's people here that are they're not well off financially, and they work very hard because the schools there cost money. You got to pay for tuition, and they work very hard to get their children to graduate elementary or middle school or high school, And for them, that is almost the equivalent for us, me paying for my child to graduate college and to see them walk and get that degree or whatever, take the pictures with them to graduate college. That pride and that sacrifice you made for your kids to succeed you is the same they get in another country, because there's some places in Belize that it's costing them a lot of money to pay for school. It's not the same as here where school's free because it comes out of your paycheck, right? And if I didn't see that perspective, which came from one, didn't happen to be my wife, but sometimes you got to look at things from a different perspective, and that's where the wife comes in, and that's where the husband comes in, right? And so, in like manner, finding a congregation is important, because, you can't be no one-man wolf pack and serve the Most High. They called the body of Hamashiach for a reason. You can't be a one-man. The lone wolf starves. You need the pack. And guess what happens when you're the sheep that strays away from the flock? They get picked off by the lion, by the bear, by the wolf. They get picked off. We see this in nature. A wolf by itself will starve to death because they cannot tackle most. Maybe they can eat a rabbit here or there, but the animals they pick off, they use a pack and they corner it. Lions, the female lions, they target one and they're chasing from different angles and they catch it. One by itself can't take the buffalo down, right? But 3 or 6 or 5 of them take the buffalo down, right? And that's the same thing. The Almighty set that up for us to have the body and be there for one another. So I'm praying for those people. Pray for you guys online as well. Please find a congregation, people that's going to love you on to salvation. I am Teacher Simon. I'm not the only one. I'm one of many, but definitely one of few. Please find a congregation out there. Do your research, vet them, just like you vet a wife to see if she's wifey material, or you vet a man, see if he's husband material. Vet these congregations out. For every one congregation in truth, there's probably 200 that's in lies. So I'm just being honest. You're going to have to go through a lot of them. Same thing with women. You may go through a couple of them. They're materialistic. They just want the bag. They just want clout. They just want this. You may go through some dudes that just want to get you for your draws, whatnot. But eventually you'll find a good one. And like man, you'll find a good congregation. So welcome to True Hebrews United of the Almighty Yeshua. This is your beloved holiness instructor, discipleship drill sergeant, about to get into the book as usual. Definitely give all honor to the creator of heaven and earth and all that is in therein. The author and finisher of our faith, the one that governs our immune system, our heartbeat, that allowed us to have employment, if we have employment, allowed us to have another week with our children, with our mom, with our dad, roof over our head, gas in our car. If we have those things, if we don't, we still praise the Most High. Without him, we could do nothing. Without him, we could be nothing. Giving all glory and honor to him through his son, Yeshua Mashiach. Definitely a double honor to the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the elders, the bishops, the teachers out there. Getting this word out there and getting people to repent from their sin. Having people to look at the word and examine themselves and confess their faults to the Most High and come to this truth before it's everlasting too late. All the brothers and sisters that keep the Almighty's commandments, statute, judgment, precepts, and ways, I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I want you guys to make it to the kingdom. I want you guys to be saved. I know a lot of people take it as a joke and take it as a game. But when it gets close, I guarantee you they're not going to take it as a game. And they're going to knock on Noah's ship. They're going to be like, oh, what, all this. And they're going to see that, hey, I've been saying this for 10, 15, 20 years. I've been saying get out of Babylon for years. I've been saying you need to be a prepper for years. I've been saying this is coming your way, that's coming your way for years. And they're not going to play around. Just like they didn't take heed to Noah. And I guarantee you, when that rain came and they seen this huge ship that Noah built, that they were mocking and laughing at, that him and his family were building this huge ark. And just like, look at that guy. That guy's still building that. And then pretty soon, I bet you, if we could go back and replay, let us in. Let us in. And then that didn't work. He said, shut the door. It's judgment. Then they come up taking their family with whatever resources they have, and they're going to the top of the mountain, and it's raining, and the water's still coming up to the top of the mountain. And pretty soon the water hits their toes, and they're backing up, and they're already at the top of the mountain. It's the part they could be. And they're probably, Almighty, we're sorry. We're sorry. We'll repent. But that's judgment. You're in the courtroom now. It's judgment. He's passing judgment. You had your space. It says Noah was a preacher of righteousness 100 years. You had 100 years to give heed to what Noah was preaching. and you chose not to. And we're going to find that I've been preaching this, Brother Vince's been preaching this, people's been hearing this word for a while, and they lightly esteem it, but eventually we're going to shut the door on these people. And I've been telling people to get out of Babylon for a while, and eventually you're going to be trapped, because there's going to be something that says, in order for you to leave, you need to do this. And then it's like, well, if I do that, then I sin against the Most High. Now you're trapped in Babylon. But anyway, so let's get to it. We're going to do the news today. I'm going to intermingle this with the scriptures. Normally I'll teach a small message and do the news afterwards, but I'm going to intermingle with the scriptures. Let's do with, so still have your books up. Let's go with Pfizer, as usual. Pfizer lied to the people again, because new research came, and they tried to say that they saved 14.4 to 20 million lives through their king cobra bite, right? That they were passing to the world. And research suggests there's only 2.5 million people they supposedly saved. And then, but they gave 30 billion people, probably more, have took the king cobra bite. 30 billion people. In UK, I think over 17,000 people was trying to go after these companies because the elements that came from taking that king cobra bite. But I thank the Almighty, because the people of the Most High, it says, be wise as serpents, but humble as doves. It says, watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware. We understand that anything that propaganda and they push or they try to mandate is probably not for our best interest, for the people on the planet as well as the people of the Most High. So remember how we are laughed as, oh, you anti-vaxxers, you're causing the problem, you're the reason why it's spreading, blah, 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 and they try to shame, and you can't get a job, and we're going to lay you off, and they laid off the Navy SEALs, they kicked people out of the military, now they're trying to call these people back. They did all this stuff because they refused to take this stuff. They refused to just drink the world's Kool-Aid saying that this is healthy for you. They became a free thinker, and they didn't just live in their life off of mainstream media. And because of that, they were demonized, and the smear campaign came against them, only to come out that we were right the whole time. So let's go with the pediatricians. So this goes with us. The Bible says, watch and pray that these days don't catch you unaware. This is why I hope more brothers and sisters will get into medicinal things. We could use more brothers and sisters with that. Pediatricians pushing they get incentives from HMOs. What HMOs are, people that buy and sell vaccines. I don't know what HMO stands for. I should have looked that up. But they're pretty much like the broker. They're the middleman between the pharmacies and the hospitals or the clinics or whatnot, right? They're like brokers. They buy and sell vaccines. They give pediatricians incentives. Some get between $200 and $600 per person that gets a vaccination. I don't know, maybe each vaccination maybe a vaccination for a tetanus shot is maybe $20 or something. I don't know how that works. I didn't have time to study that. They say some pediatricians are making up to $1 million a year just in vaccinations. The incentives they get from these brokers. That means they probably make more from getting you vaccinated than actually treating, and you coming in and they schedule an appointment and charge you $200-300 with a copay or whatever, right? For the appointment, they make more. Some make more from the vaccination incentives than actually treating the people. So these pediatricians, there has been stories, more and more stories where pediatricians are denying service to parents, pretty much firing parents, because they don't want to give their children, or they don't want to take any vaccinations. Like, we don't want you here then. If you don't want to take vaccinations, we don't want you here. But you could prescribe penicillin. Like, why I can't get service from you anymore? Because you can't, what? So I can't get stitches, and I know pediatricians is different, but so you don't want me at all because I don't get vaccinations. And more stories are coming out like that. So be cautious when you go to the saints of the Most High. This means to the saints of the Most High, because we're watching, praying that these days don't catch you unaware. But when you take your kids to these hospitals, when you take these kids to these pediatricians, remember that there is an incentive behind that. And remember, doctors are not pharmacists. nor do they study how long that this drug have been out, whether 2 years or 5 years, what clinical studies this drug has came out. The HMO, the broker will come and say, hey, we got this new drug. It helps with this and this and this and this and this. It's fine. They're not going to go back. You think a doctor's going to go back and look at the clinical trials and the studies and the placebos and all this testing, and they decide if I want to do that? No. I'm getting $200 a pop. I could probably do 3 of these a day. I got 6 appointments, 8 appointments, 10 appointments a day. If I could get 1 or 2 appointments a day, not only I get money for the appointment, but I get $400, $200 each person, $600 each person, depending on what it is. Yeah, I'm gonna push that. We think that just because someone becomes a doctor, don't mean that they're morally right. Don't mean that they're a righteous person. They become a doctor maybe because they want money, not because they have moral grounds, not because I genuinely want to help people. Do you think every pastor becomes a pastor because they want people saved? Some people become a pastor because it's a money grab. Give me the $20 line and the Almighty's going to bless me with $100 and this and that and this. And it's a money grab. The more members, the more money, right? And so we be careful. The saints of the Most High come into these hospitals. Remember that there's an incentive behind some of their stuff. Not all doctors are wicked. I mean, there's some of them are still sinners, but not all doctors are wicked like that. But remember, there's an incentive plan. When they're trying to push this and, oh, you should get this. Oh, let me think about it. And usually when you say, let me think about it, it'll show their true colors. They're like, oh, what do you mean? Well, this and this. And then because you don't say yes right away, because they'll go get the vaccination right away to get your kids or get you, you say, oh, let me give some time to think about it. I might set another appointment to do it. Oh, well, if you don't do it now, this and this. And they're pushing that. They're just no different than a car salesman. They get a bonus or they get a commission on each car they sell. These physicians, these doctors, these nurses, they're all like car salesmen. And be knowledgeable of that when you go in there. And it sucks because you have to go into the snake's den to get treated. It's like I have to go to the snake's den in order for me, because I have this ailment and there's nothing but snake's den out there. There's nothing to choose from but just poison. You know? So, yeah, be cautious with that. Next one, I was supposed to bring a Faraday bag, but this guy ran this test with the phone on airplane mode and with the phone off, and then he runs it through this machine to see what data gets sent to Google and whatnot. And we already know that Google and your phone, because the battery don't come out by design, that Google and them track your stuff, even if it's on airplane mode or even if you turn your phone off. So I say get a Faraday bag, and I have 3 of them because I put my phone on my laptop in that. Especially, I'll deal with that a little bit. But what he did find out is that when you have it on airplane mode or privacy mode, it will still track you. Right when you turn it off, it still collects that data, and then right when you turn it back on, it just sends the same data to them. So did it technically track you at the time point? No, but then it's still it's logging it all in, and you turn off the airplane mode, then it sends all this data, so then they still know everything that you did, right? They know if you're walking, if you're driving, when you get out of the car, every location you go to. We already know if you walk in a grocery store, then you get this pop-up, how was your trip at this grocery store? Like, why is my phone selling my data showing that I went to this grocery store, right? So, but when you put it on airplane mode, it doesn't track when you go to a children's hospital. Now, they say, why? That's not a coincidence. And we already know we're going to deal with the missing kids in a little bit. So why is Google not tracking you when you go to children's hospitals all the time? And I told you a couple of months ago how people been disappearing out of hospitals, how they have them on film going into the hospital and no cameras leaving. And when family comes and says, where's patient so-so? Oh, he checked out. His wallet and his keys are right here. How did he check out? Where did he go? Because they were taking them and they're doing it with organ trafficking, the hospitals. So this is why, yeah, I have family. You better say, yeah, I have family. Oh, do you have? Yeah, they're going to come. You make sure you put that in there. Like, I got family coming, this and this and this, that and that, what room, so I can share this. They should be here. because they target people that typically don't have any family or friends when they try to get information who's a visitor or whatnot. So make sure you put that. If you're going to stay overnight, have your family come and make it known that, hey, you got people that care for you, because you mess around and disappear. All they got to do is put something in your IV. You're passed out. They walk you out through, they put you in a basement, never to be seen again. Oh, he checked out. What are you going to do? So, that being said, let's go with Ohio, North Dakota, and Virginia. There's been a high spike in disappearance, and the cops have been lying and trying to label them all as runaways. But when you investigate more and more, you're saying, no, these are not runaways, because a city, let's say in North Dakota or whatever, say a city, a town or whatnot, they don't want to report that we have all this missing children. So they'll just label them as runaways so their city doesn't look bad, right? But no, it's bad. Look it up, North Dakota. I think there was a couple thousand missing in a short amount of time in these rural states. I should have saved the article, but a lot of them. I think 12 was missing in just 1 month. Like, and I'm talking about small rural cities, like small towns, not 12 missing in like a huge LA or something, right? So, with you guys, I'm gonna hit this scripture. I keep telling you, give me Deuteronomy. Wait up, I'll say that. We're gonna get this scripture in a little bit. The police been caught trying to cover it up, label them as runaways when they're not runaways. And then we already know about these ice cream trucks coming up at like 2 in the morning, 9 at night, 10 at night. Some of them are following people. I don't know. I know some, they did have a case where this guy beat because a van will come by and it forces your phones, your laptops and everything to go to their router so they could track. So all the car has to do is just drive by your street, and every phone, laptop, or tablet will automatically by default go to their router, and they could track everything you got, your passwords, everything. A van that comes by. And because this guy got caught because he was hacking and taking money, and they couldn't track him down, and finally they tracked him, but he used his lawyer to say, how did you catch me? And they didn't want to reveal how they caught him because it invaded their right to privacy, illegal search and seizure, right? It's illegal what they're doing. So when they sent him to jail, they said, we're going to pardon you, but you got to sign a non-disclosure. We're going to let you free, but you can't tell how we caught you. And so it got swept under the rug. And after that, his non-disclosure agreement ended. And he was saying, yeah, they've been had vehicles, and it forces your phone so they could track everything that you're doing. And they'll just go with a van. So now it could be the smart cities with the routers. At any given time, you think you're using your router, it'll automatically connect. Or you notice sometimes where your Wi-Fi button will just click on its own. And maybe that's because it's automatically connecting to a different router so they can track everything you're doing, right? So, but back to what I'm saying with the whole ice cream trucks and whatnot. Some people are following these ice cream trucks, and they'll go through a dark way, and then they'll just stop. They'll see people come out. It looks like illegal transactions. And they notice that they've been getting followed from them because they'll post it on their TikTok and whatnot. Another lady went to an ice cream truck and filmed. They're like, oh, you want ice cream? It's like, for sure. He's like, which one you want? I'll give you one for free. He's like, come and get it. He's like, no, you're supposed to give it to me. He's like, no, come, you could come in and get it. And he was trying to get her to come. Now, this is an ice cream truck that's like 11 at night. Trying to get her to, they're already messaging me. Oh, they're probably gonna get flag thrown out, probably. He was trying to get her to come into the ice cream truck. So I don't know if it's in your city. This has been in multiple states. Ice cream trucks being out late at night and whatnot. Be careful. Hey, they already flagged? Probably, yeah. We probably will. Hopefully we're all right. Entertainment purposes. Maybe I'll say this for entertainment purposes. All right, good looking out. So be careful with that. Give me Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6. Yeah, I've been flagged for medical misinformation quite a bit. What was weird is redacted in other places, like this other channel, they be saying that stuff all the time and dealing with that. And I'm like, how do they not get flagged and I get flagged? Maybe because their YouTube videos have like millions of views or something and they make so much money. Because I forgot this other guy with long hair. He deals with Pfizer and them all the time. I'm like, how is he not getting flagged on YouTube? Deuteronomy 6:4. It says, Hear, O Israel, the Lord is our Yah, is one, Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all of thy heart, with all thy soul, with all of thy might. And these words which I command you this day shall not be in thy heart, and thou shalt teach thy children diligently, teach them diligently unto thy children, and thou shalt talk with them when thou sittest in thy house, when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up, right? So we have an obligation to teach, to protect, and to provide for our children. And some of these children are missing is because it's the parents' fault. Is what are you doing? What provisions are you making so your child does not get kidnapped? If you ask the average adult, what provisions are you making that your kid doesn't get kidnapped? Because stranger danger doesn't work. Stranger danger doesn't work when a van pulls up and two guys open the door and come out the van and just pick them up and carry them in the van. What is stranger danger? They don't have time to run. They are kidnapping adults, adult women. So it's like, for me, I don't let my daughters walk anywhere. If you want to go to the store, walk with your brother. If you want to go, I'll drop you off. If she gets old enough, I want to go to Susan's house, I'll drop you off. Let me know, I'll pick you up. I want to go to the mall, I'll drop you off. You're going to stay in the mall? I'll stay in the mall. All right, I'll pick you up. You know what I'm saying? Everything. There is no, I'm just going to walk by myself. It's just down the street. Everyone, when their kid is missing, they always say, well, the school was just 3 blocks. That's all it took, 3 blocks. All her friend's house was just a couple of blocks down the way. That's all it took is a couple of blocks for your kid to get kidnapped. It didn't take much. No one says, yeah, I sent my daughter on a perilous journey to go to school. And I knew it was dangerous and I still sent them to school and they got kidnapped. No one says that. They're always going to say, oh, it's just right down the street. Nothing can happen. And sure enough, it'll be like 6 of them getting out of school and then one makes the right to go to her house and this goes to right. And then your kid is the last one coming to go to their house. Now she's by herself. Van rolls up, 3 guys. They think it's just, would you like some candy? Just one person. It could be one person, but it could be 2 or 3 people. We always assume it's just where your kid's just going to help and run. People would probably film it before they help. I showed you guys a video I put on YouTube where they had a kid come and they had a guy come and pick up the kid and go in the alley and people just looked like he's kidnapping the kid and people just looked and kept walking. And only one person came and acted like he was going to fight the guy. And then he did an experiment. He put a rag over the kid's mouth to cover the mouth while the kid was screaming. It was all staged, and picked up the kid and just walked in the alley, and people just looked and kept it pushing. So you think someone's just going to come and save your kid? A lot of you guys, you send your kids to come out home from night from working a part-time job. They're 16 working at McDonald's. They're catching the bus at night. You're making 0 provisions to protect your kids. And then you're going to quickly post on Facebook, if you've seen my kid, they're missing. And my heart goes out to these people, but you set your kid up. You make 0 provisions to protect them, and you are hoping that everyone they pass is not a kidnapper, is not a pedophile. No, I don't let my daughters. There's a school like right down the block. Kamari wanted to be like a president of the class, but he has to come 30 minutes early, so he couldn't walk with his sister. I was like, well, he's just not going to be the president because my daughter's not walking to school by herself, and my daughter's not walking home. No, I don't play that game. No, I'm not doing that. The school that my little kids go, in my backyard, I could throw a rock and I could hit their yard. I could hit the school. It's a stone cast away. There's one house behind us, a small street, and there's the school. And then it's public. The school's blocked off during that. We go out the yard. We can see our kids come out the gate and walk. I don't play that game. I have an obligation as a father, biblically, to protect my children, especially my little girls, because they go after the girls the most. No, I'm not doing that. No. So some of these missing children is because you didn't have your children on a leash. Your leash was way too loose. Oh, just come back on the street, like having your daughters just come and just, where they at? I don't know. They said Susan's house. Do you know where Susan lives? No. Like, you don't even know where she's going. But you're hoping that she's not going to get kidnapped? It's like, I'm not saying no kid deserves to get kidnapped, but the parents were asking for it. The parents were asking for it because you put nothing, no fail safes, not even a tag. Put an air tag. If something happens, you could track her. Something. Do something. Like, there's too many kids missing these days for you guys to just play around. And I get it. Money's tight. They have to walk to school by itself because the hours of your job, you're a single parent. You got to go to work. You can't walk your kid to school or something like that. Maybe you could get an auntie or something like that. I understand you may be in a position where you can't, but some of you guys can and you choose not to. Let's keep going. China. Here we go. Like I said, the mark of the beast might come. All right, they pick and choose. All right, cool. They pick and choose. That's what it is. Because Redacted, they talk about a whole bunch of stuff that I got flagged for. But China, they just forced everyone in one city. They did a trial run to use the digital yuan because they have their own accounts where they, digital money, and they use cash. And they made all the businesses either will shut your business down or we're going to fine you if you take cash. So out of nowhere, the very next day, people that had cash couldn't catch the taxi. People trying to pay cash at the hospital couldn't use cash. They just banned cash and went with the digital yuan. Now that they could choose if you could buy medicine, they could choose if you could travel, if this money will allow you to get on the subway or the bus. Programmable money, CBDC, right? And there's not much people could do. They did it with one city, and it was a major city. And so that's going to spread. Canada already did that. So we already see where this is coming, where you can either buy or sell unless you have the mark, right? We see how this could work. Because once everything, remember I told you, once everything goes without cash and goes digital, and this is where full control is going to come in. Because how are you going to buy goods? That city cannot buy anything with cash, meaning every single purchase is tracked and it's programmable money. So at any given time, they can make that money. Won't work for a bus, or won't work for a subway, or won't work for an airplane ticket. Or guess what? You said this, it doesn't work at hospitals anymore. It's programmable money. It won't work for medicine no more. So this is a test run. This is already going down in China. Canada, when the truckers did the protest against the king cobra bite, the whole entertainment purposes, the king cobra bite, right? And what did Canada do? Justin Trudeau or whatnot, he froze their bank accounts. So they started a GoFundMe. So they froze the GoFundMe, and anyone who donated to the GoFundMe, they froze their accounts too. So if you donated $20 to the GoFundMe, guess what? Your account's froze too, your bank account. They froze their accounts because everything's digital. Maybe they have some cash or whatnot, I'm not too sure, but this is where it's going. We're probably going to see this stuff go down in our lifetime. They were trying to go full digital and full control. This is why I keep telling you, let's get into the scriptures. Go ahead and give me, this is a first test in China for compliance. Go ahead and give me Revelations. 13. Revelations 13. It's weird because I've been doing this news thing and a lot of this stuff's been coming to pass, just like I've been telling. All right, let's go ahead and I was talking about this with Brother Vince. I'll start at verse 10, verse 9. Revelation 13, verse 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. And he that leadeth in captivity shall go into captivity. And he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is patience in the faith of the saints. And I behold another beast coming out of the earth, who had the two horns like the lamb, and he spake as the dragon, and he exercised all power as the first beast before him, and caused all the earth of them that dwell there to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. And he doeth wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man. And that could be asteroids or something, or it could be Project Blue Beam or something. We'll see. And he deceiveth them that dwell upon the earth by means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had a wound by a sword and did live. And he had power to give life to the image of the beast, and that image of the beast should both speak and cause that many that would not worship the image and the beast should be killed. And he causes all, both small and great, rich or poor, bond and free, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Probably Elon Musk stuff, or the little chip with the patent that will have crypto on it, but whatever. And that no man will buy or sell save he have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Right? So we'll start right there. So I'm not saying that's the mark, but I'm saying we could see how digital currency in full control, unless you do this, you cannot buy or sell. That's what I'm showing you. This technology is already here to where unless you do this, you will not be able to buy or sell. Bond or free, rich or poor, you will have to have this unless you do this. Right now, this is just the prototype. The digital yuan is just a prototype. Freezing people counting in Canada is just a prototype. But they have the technology to fulfill that scripture right now. They just know the whole world is going to rebel against it. They'll have to stage someone like the straight pandemic where everyone got a King Cobra bite, right? Or they'll have to set up some false flag to where everyone will agree. They'll have to destroy the US dollar intentionally to where it says, let's go digital. And then once the whole world goes digital, this is a theory, then bam, now I got it to where you cannot buy or sell unless you do this. So, next scripture. Go ahead and give me Revelations, I think it's 18. Revelations 18. And after these things I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth lighteth with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils, and the hold of every foul and caging every unclean and hateful bird. That means that there's clean and unclean animals still for the people that say the dietary law doesn't exist. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth were waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. That's the U.S. This is why the U.S. could say tariffs, and some nations will buckle. They're like, oh, don't tariff us, because they have the largest economy, and they're an import nation. And if we set a tariff and you can't, the merchants of the earth will wax rich through Babylon. How much money they could stop buying for a country, a smaller country, and that whole GDP of that country would collapse, because like 50% of their GDP of that whole nation derives from selling to the U.S. So if someone else says, oh, I'll do tariffs, they're not going to move nothing. If Guatemala says we're going to tariff the whole world, they'll laugh. That doesn't mean anything. But when the U.S. says, Babylon says we're going to do tariffs, some of them say they don't care. Some nations say they don't care, but some of them, they crumble. They're doing deals. Europe's doing a deal. Canada's doing a deal, right? But let's keep going. That's why I say come at her. You got time. Get your passport. There's places out there that's better than the U.S. Come at her. You're in Europe in the inner city, come at her. You know what I'm saying? You're in China, super duper come out of her. Because they're ahead of the U.S. You can't even have weapons there. Like, you should come out of Australia, Canada, and China. Get out of there. You know what I'm saying? Get out of there. So, let's go with the next one. Colon cancer in the youth. colon cancer in the youth, this starts with the people of the Most High, by the way. Colon cancer in the youth is rising above the elderly. Because the elderly, 40 or 60 or something, they get their routine checks. You know what I'm saying? Whatever this is called, colonoscopy or something. Or they have to do some stuff not even lawful to be uttered, like Brother Vince likes me to say. They have to do some tests and whatnot. But it's spiking, and it's with unnaturally, the more, I'm going to call it HPF, but high processed foods have more cognitive decline and dementia. So people that eat HPS, high processed foods, are more likely to get dementia and Alzheimer's. And that's not even dealing with the cancer aspect of it. So HPF is when they take things out, all the good stuff like the fiber and the stuff beneficial, and they add things in like artificial flavors, preservatives, and sugars. It's called HPF, or high processed food. 70% of grocery stores have high processed foods. So what the saints of the Most High, we're going to start making a change. 70%. So we can't get around it. That's why I thank the Almighty that we got out of Babylon, and that people in Belize, like 70% of their food is natural. It's like the complete opposite. Our market is what you will call a farmer's market here. But that's just their natural food. I'm happy when I read this that Zedek was being greedy, and he had 2 fruits, taking bites out of both fruits, but it's healthy and it has seeds in it. It's healthy, like the fact that he could be greedy with food that actually has nutritional value to him, that's not going to cause colon cancer or dementia or Alzheimer's. You know what I'm saying? So it's a major blessing. So give you some stuff. Frozen dinners, we already know those are high in sodium. Soups, highly processed. Hot dogs, cold cuts, soda, which is easy to prevent. Sodas are cheap too. Chips, cookies, cakes, all that stuff. So we dealt a couple of months ago with polyesters, and how the research shows that polyester are this plastic. They put the diaper on the dogs, and it decreased their sperm count, and it caused problems with women. And then once they took the diapers out, their sperm count went better. So we know a decline in testosterone and sperm count with men is maybe because you're wearing the wrong boxers. And so we say, hey, we need to start going cotton or wool. I don't even know if they make wool girl panties, but cotton. Try to go with 100% cotton socks or wool, and try to go that route, right? Same thing with this, the HPFs. What I suggest the saints of the Most High do is cut something out and put something in. So me, I normally get candy from the Dollar Tree. I'm just going to cut some of that stuff out and get yogurts. I'll get yogurts because it's less processed. I'll get flavored yogurts. And I'll just replace it with something else that I like. And no, we can't escape it. If 70% is HPF, I get it. We can't escape everything. But we could decrease the amount of poisons we take in, which decreases our chances. They said every 10% more of HPFs you eat is a 2% increase. And HPF is attributed to 34 different cancers, not just colon. Colon is on the rise, 34 different cancers. So think about what you're doing. Take one thing out, put one thing in. Also, our youth, they're probably 100% fake food, because you have the HPF they're eating. And then even if they go fruits and vegetables, a lot of them are GMOs. A lot of the oranges we don't eat because they don't have seeds. The grapes, seedless, watermelons, seedless, apples. Even our fruits and vegetables are fake. They're not real. So it's like, can the youth now even eat real food? Like everything. Your bread, why doesn't the bread just have like salt, flour, water, baking soda? When you look at a loaf of bread, it has like 30 different items in it. Like 30 different items. If you're going to go sweets, I will say go to the grocery store. And if you look at the section of their bakery part, a lot of them will just have like 5 or 6 ingredients. Like if you got the cookies, it just has like 6 or 7 ingredients. But if you get the cookies that have 20 different ingredients, that's why you need to go to the actual bakery part where you're buying it and it has like the sticker $5 or whatnot. If you look at it, that's way less processed than the other stuff. You know, when you have this full book report of all the ingredients for them to make a straight donut or something, right? Then it's like, hey, just leave it alone. It's too highly processed. Just leave it alone. Try to go with things that has less ingredients in it, that's less processed. Try to go that route. I know we can't escape it, but do it for your children. Do it for yourself. So praise the Almighty. And that ties into gluttony because one, if you're amplifying or it's a multiplier, you're overeating, which is gluttony, which is a sin because you're gaining weight. You're eating more calories than your body needs, and it's not muscle. It's gaining useless fat. So you're already predisposed to other diseases. And then on top of that, you're overeating HPFs. So it's not even like you're overeating in salads. You're overeating in fruits, natural fruits. And you're overeating with at least that has value, that adds value. And yeah, you're gaining fat, which you shouldn't do. But at least you're getting some value out of that. You're overindulging in HPFs, the worst kind of food to eat. And so you're at risk, and you owe it to your children and your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren to eat right. You owe it to them because those are your grandchildren, and there's wisdom you need to share it with them. And you still need to be there to counsel your sons and daughters. Because when your sons and daughters have their kid, they're going to be rusty. They're going to be rusty. And so you're going to help them, with them, they're at this age, with them, and you're still counseling your children how to be better parents because you have more experience. It's their first kid. So they're going to be rusty. And that's where the grandparents come in. And when your children need a break, bring the grandkids over here. You guys just have the weekend to yourself. We got them. And that's how it's supposed to be. But when you want to die early because we're going to deal with gluttony and slothfulness because they work hand in hand, then it's unfair to your kids and it's unfair to your grandkids. You have an obligation to be in their life. You being a parent ends when you die. Oh, they're 20 years old. My job's over. No, your job's never over. You're always a parent. And you're always a grandparent. And you're always a great-grandparent. Who told you your job ends once they become an adult? Who told you that? Who said that? You said that. You thought that. Your job never ends. I'm always going to be a father to my son and to my daughters. I'm always going to be there. Whether they're down, whether they're depressed, whether they need a ride, whether their car broke down, they need me to pick them up. I'm always going to be there for my children. I don't care if I'm 60 years old and they're going through some stuff. I'm going to call them and see what's up, or they need help moving or something. I'm always going to be there. I want to be there until I die. And I don't want to die early because I want to eat HPF and I don't want to put the soda down. I don't want to put the yo-yos and the cupcakes and stuff down. Yes, enjoy your food. The gift of God is enjoy the fruit of your labor, but at some point you have to have some discipline. Speaking of discipline, the Bible says he opens my ear to discipline. Proverbs 23. And we'll go fast because I still got a lot more to cover. Proverbs 23. Starting at verse 20. Be not among wine bibbers and riotous eaters of flesh, for a drunkard and a glutton shall come to poverty, and drowsiness shall clothe a man with rags. Drunkenness and gluttony is the same thing. You overindulge in alcohol, which makes you drunk, you sin against the Most High. You overindulge in food, which makes you a glutton, you're outside the will of the Most High. How do I know if I'm a glutton? Have you gained 10 pounds from the last time you weighed yourself? Is that 10 pounds muscle or fat? It's fat? Okay, you're a glutton. You need to calm down. That's your body telling you you're overeating. Well, that's your body telling you whatever you do, I need to stop. Have you gained any more weight? No. But are you overweight? Yeah. Do you get winded just walking up 2 flights of stairs? Why? Because I'm overweight? Yeah. That means that's your body telling you, like, I am overweight. I should not be winded doing this. This should not make me have to take a break walking up some stairs. No, I should be able to run a half a block and not feel like I'm going to die. My mobility can't be to where I barely could do nothing because of my weight. I cannot jump a fence that's like this high, waist high, because you're overweight. You're outside the will of the Most High. You cannot be a glutton and say I'm inside the will of the Most High. And this is why I noticed that laziness and gluttonous go hand in hand. If you're at a congregation and the minister is fat, then you need to bring that to his attention. Because how are you even preaching the gospel, but you don't deal with gluttony? How are you overweight preaching the gospel? And no, you don't need to go to the gym to preach the gospel. You don't have to be a gym rat or a gym, you don't have to be all that. But you do have to be within healthy reins, because he brought life and he brought life abundantly. He came and healed every sickness and disease. And when we see that there's HPFs that's causing dementia and Alzheimer's, look at these congregations on Facebook. And when they take their group picture, when like 80% of them are overweight, I see it all the time. What are they doing? What are they doing? And it'll be the same people that they're overweight and they're like, oh, brother so-and-so, can you pray for me? They say that I might be a type 2 diabetic. Oh, they say I have high cholesterol. Oh, I had a stroke because they said, I'm obese. And you been know what to do. Why do you want someone to pray for you? Why? Because you reap what you sow. That's like a man saying, man, I don't want a kid. But you have unprotected sex with the woman. You continue to have unprotected sex. Oh, I don't want no STD. Then what do you think is going to happen when you have unprotected sex with a woman? Multiple women or whatever. What do you think is going to happen? You think she's just not going to get pregnant? Yeah, you did. Unknowingly, you didn't say I wanted a kid and you didn't say I want an STD, but you did say I am willing to deal with any consequence that comes with me having unprotected sex with this woman, whether STD or a pregnancy. I'm willing to take this risk. And then when the risk doesn't work in my favor, then I wasn't really ready for a kid. No, forget that. So when you want to eat like trash through gluttony and through overindulging in foods with no value, like sodas and chips and ho-hos, you are openly saying, I'm willing to deal with any consequence, that health risks that come with my eating habit. So then if you're willing to deal with it, and when you get that bad news from the doctor, and you have a cancer, or you have this, or you have high cholesterol, then don't ask no one to pray for you, because for years you knew to do better and you chose not to. You chose not to. You chose to say, I'll deal with whatever comes my way. And you will reap what you sow, because that's the universal law. You sow garbage food, in 5 or 10 or 20 years, you're going to reap that. And you're not going to like it. And some of you guys may pass away and leave some kids behind without a father or without a mother, because you were too lazy and you were a gluttonous and you kept saying, praise the Almighty, outside the will of God the whole time, being a gluttonous. Gluttony is a sin. They don't preach against it. Overeating is a sin. If you are fat, then you are outside the will of the Most High, because the Almighty does not want you to overindulge in eating. He called that gluttony. So if you're overweight, then that means you need to stop doing that. You need to repent and bring that back in. Quit eating junk food and eat less of what you're doing and start exercising and get back in the reins. Because if you're his temple, like you're saying, then why are you treating his temple like trash? No, I'm not treating it like trash. Then why are you high risk for dying from straight obesity? Obesity is the second leading cause of death. Obesity, look it up. It's cancer and then obesity. And sometimes obesity beats cancer, and some years cancer beats obesity. So it's the second. Gluttony. So let's keep going. Give me Dale. Now let's deal with gluttony, and I told you this ties in with slothfulness. Dell this year will lay off 25,000 people, and I keep dealing with this. There's mad layoffs all the time. Now, I did my own research. Check this out. I looked up how many people graduate college every year. How many people graduate college? 4 million people graduate college every year. So that's 4 million people going into the job force looking for work. Now, I couldn't get 24. In 2024, 358,000 jobs were lost. So there is a 700,000, almost 800,000 job deficit than what there was the year before. So those 700,000 people are going to, by default, look for these other jobs out there that may or may not exist, because there's less jobs than there was the year before. You follow me? So that same year, 4 million people just graduated trying to join the war and compete for these limited amount of jobs. There's less jobs, but there's 4 million people, more million people coming looking for work, with almost 1 million less jobs. This is why it's not the time to be lazy. Then this ties in with gluttony, because how are you going to say I'm overweight and I'm not lazy? And I'm going to deal with laziness right now. If a person that is gluttonous is a person that's undisciplined. This is why it's not that I devalue their views, but you're not disciplined enough to deal with people on the things of the Most High, because the whole thing of the scriptures and keep the commandments is discipline. Keeping the Sabbath, living holy, disciplining, not cussing, not committing adultery. You become a disciplined individual by just living holy in and of itself. So how are you just not disciplined in this and you're going to teach me about the things of the Most High? Because it says he opens our ears to discipline. How are you teaching wisdom and understanding and knowledge, but you don't know that you're outside the will of God by your weight? The doctor told you you need to stop doing this, and I'm saying, forget you, doctor. I'm going to do what I want to do. The doctor says, hey, this and this and this. I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And then when it happens, pray for me. No, you eat that. That's what you wanted. You kept eating. You kept living that lifestyle. Now you got some disease, or you got this, or you got type 2 diabetes. You got all this from your behavior. You eat that. Don't even take medicine, because this is what you wanted. No, I didn't. Then why didn't you change? Why didn't you change when the doctor told you to change? Laziness and undiscipline. But then you're going to teach me about the Bible? Please get out of here, right? Anyways, so give me Proverbs 6. Proverbs 6 through 11. Gives not sleep to thy eyes, nor slumber to thy eyelids. Deliver the roe. That's Proverbs 6. All right, 6 through 11. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, and consider her ways, and be wise. And having no guide, nor overseer or ruler, provided her meat for summer, and gathered her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard, meaning lazy, or wilt thou arise out of thy seat? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come upon one that travaileth, and thy want as an armed man. And it will come upon you, because if you be lazy and you don't compete for these jobs, you're going to suffer. And if you be lazy and you don't want to lose the weight, you're going to suffer. It's going to come and bite you in the butt. There's no way you're going to eat like trash, and it's not going to come to you when you're 40 or 50 or 60. It will come to you. You will reap that. But you have an opportunity right now to repent and start developing healthy habits and start exercising. And then when you get 40, 50, 60, you're reaping good stuff. There's some cats that be like, this and this, I'm younger than you, Simon. I'm like, you're not younger than me. And then they're like, yeah, I am. And then I'll go and I'll do a one-arm pull-up. I'm like, all right, let's go, old man. I'm like, or they'll do a push-up, and I'll do a one-arm push-up. All right, let's go, old man. You're younger than me, right? Do that. Oh, well, man, it's just because bro, you ain't younger than me then. I don't want to hear it. I'm reaping what I've sowed. I've sowed into trying to eat healthy and trying to do right. And I'm reaping that. I'm reaping that. I'm in better shape than anyone probably in their 20s. I'm reaping that. When I go to the gym, I'm in better shape than everyone in their 20s. I am reaping that. Because what did I sow? Right? So let's keep going. Give me Proverbs chapter 10. Oh, yeah. 10. Verse 26. As vinegar to the teeth and as smoke to the eyes, so is a sluggard to them that send him, being lazy. The Almighty condemns being lazy. Last scripture. Actually, give me 13:4. Proverbs 13:4. Let's get it. The soul of a sluggard desireth and have nothing, but the soul of the diligent shall be made fat. They have nothing. They desire and have nothing. They're lazy. Lazy. They desire, I want to be healthy, but you're not eating like you want to be healthy. I forgot to get this scripture that says, if you have an appetite, put a knife to your throat. If you be a man of appetite, when you get presented before people, you know what I'm saying? Have some level of discipline. Last scripture for this one, give me Proverbs 26. Proverbs 26. Verse 16. Let's get it. A sluggard is wiser in his own conceit than 7 men that can render a reason. And this is some of the stuff they'll say. They'll be like, oh, well, I'm overweight because I'm big boned. You're just lazy. You're overweight because you're lazy. And laziness is a sin. Gluttony and laziness, they go hand in hand. That's like stealing and lying. There's no honest thief. Did you steal that? Yeah, I did. There you go. If they're going to steal, they're going to lie with it. It goes hand in hand because no one steals and wants to get caught. Oh, hey, have you seen this pocket knife? Have you seen my wallet? Yeah, I took it out of your back pocket. Here you go. No, they're going to, if you lie, you steal, right? Same thing. If you're gluttony, you're lazy. That goes with on the job. We can't be lazy on the job. Even if you work for employees you don't like, just give it your all. No, you don't got to break your back for these companies because they don't care for you, but you don't go and just put on the brakes. Give them an honest day work for an honest day pay. Don't go above and beyond for these employees that don't care for you, but don't put on the brakes either. Be productive. Don't be lazy, right? Let's keep going. Matthew 25. Verse 14. For the kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling a far country, and he called his own servants and delivered unto him as his good. And one he gave 5 talents, another 2, another 1, and to every man according to his several ability. And straightway he took his journey. And they that have received 5 talents went and traded the same, and made them another 5 talents, doubled his money. And likewise he that received 2, he also gained another 2. But he that received 1, he digged in the earth and hid the Lord's money. And after a long time, the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. So he that received 5 talents came and brought him another 5 talents, saying, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 5 talents. Behold, I have gained besides them 5 talents more. And the Lord said unto him, Well done, my good and faithful servant. Thou shalt have been faithful over a few things. I will make them rule over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Almighty. He also that received 2 talents came and said, Lord, thou hast delivered unto me 2 talents. Behold, I have gained 2 other talents beside them. And he said unto him, Well done, good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter thou into the joy of the Almighty. Then he that received 1 talent came and said, Lord, I knew that thou art an hard man, and reapeth where thou hast not sown, and gather where thou hast not straw. And I was afraid, and went and hid the talent in the earth. And lo, that thou hast, that is thine. So he brought him back. And the Lord answered and said unto him, Thou wicked and slothful servant, you wicked and lazy person. I keep telling you, being lazy is a sin. You guys think that you could be lazy and make it into the kingdom. Being lazy is a sin. And then if you're gluttonous, then that means you're lazy as well. There's no way you're going to say, I'm gluttonous, but I'm not lazy. Because why are you overweight? Because you don't want to exercise. You're being lazy. You don't want to do the work. With my kids, what I do, because I don't like that, that's just like another sin. Say there's a trash can and there's a trash bag and the bag overfills the trash can. Sometimes the bag falls in there and they'd be lazy and they just toss it in there and then it goes in between the bag and the trash can. Now there's trash down there. And when I catch them, I said, oh, you want to be lazy? You couldn't just pull the bag out? So I'll count. I was like, I'll do it. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. I was like, look, it would have took you 4 seconds. All right, you're going to start cleaning for an hour. You're going to miss an hour of your free time. Now you're going to clean. You're going to mop floors and sweep and clean doors. Now you're going to, every time my kids be lazy, I make them do more chores. Because you're going to be punished for being lazy. You're not going to be lazy. Oh, you don't want to get the toothpaste out of the sink? Don't worry. Let's count how many seconds for me to get some toilet paper. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000, 5, 1,000. Oh, see, it would have took 7 seconds. Now you're going to start cleaning for an hour. Because you were too lazy to invest 7 seconds to clean up the toothpaste out of the sink. Now you got more. And every time I catch them being lazy, I deal with them over that. Because I'm not going to produce no lazy, entitled children. It's not going to happen. They're going to learn at a very young age, we're not lazy people. Hebrews are not lazy people. The Bible condemns being lazy. Nope. No sluggards in my house. Let's keep going. He says, thou wicked and slothful servant. Let's keep going. Thou knewest that I reap where I sow not, and gather where I has not straw. Thou oughtest therefore to put thy money in the exchangers, that at my coming I receive my own with usury, with interest. We'll stop there. But the Almighty's already condemned being lazy. You're going being lazy on the job, you're outside the will of the Almighty. You know this is to do right. You people that get the shopping cart and just put it on the side and don't want to put it up in the little area and block someone else from parking there because you're being lazy. You don't want to just get the shopping cart and push it where it goes. That's being lazy. Just take the extra 30 seconds. You already been in the grocery store 30 minutes. Take the extra 30 seconds, push it where it belongs, and then go to your car. Quit being lazy and put it on the side so now no one else can park there. So you made one less parking spot because you're being lazy. Come on now. Try to throw something in the trash that falls on the floor, you just leave. Quit being lazy. Go over there, pick it up, put it in the trash can. You drop something on the ground, pick it up, put it where it goes. You park wrong, reverse and park it back right. Don't be inconsiderate and don't be lazy. Do the right thing, right? Let's keep going. Got a couple things. 1,000 hospitals will be closing by the end of this year. 1,000. 300 has already closed. 1,000 hospitals will be closing. And there's not a lack of patients. They're consolidating, just like a lot of the smaller banks are failed and the big banks are eating the little banks to where these banks work for the government. They're consolidating the medical. A lot of the CVSs are closing down. They're trying to make it to where it's just like the Amazon and the Walmart, but that's how it's going to be with the hospitals. So, remember when they said, oh, you should get into medical because there's always work. You'll always have work in the medical field. Not no more. A lot of nurses and doctors and CNAs are losing their jobs, are relocating. This is nationwide. So be careful. And then their prices are going up. Now, I looked this up. With the student loan debt, now I told you they passed a law to where they could garnish your paycheck without taking you to court. Then we know credit cards are suing people. And what the credit cards are doing now, they're suing people with outstanding credit card debt. Instead of filing bankruptcy, they'll send you the letter. And most people, unknowingly, they just won't reply. Because they're like, well, I don't have to go to court if I don't receive to go to the court, this and this. But they want you to not reply and go to court because now they could get you for the full balance. But if you're not in court, you could go to the court and say, hey, well, I can't afford that. Instead of me paying $30,000, can we just agree to $22,000? And the judge could go ahead and do that. But they want you not to show, and they could get you. And then once they get you, because you lose by default, then they start garnishing your check. So then you got child support. So imagine a person going to college, got student loan debt, and they're going to start garnishing wages. Then you owe credit card debt, which the average American does, and you owe child support. So 3 people's in your paycheck. You're cooked. You're done for. Now imagine this nurse. I looked this up because they couldn't get 2023. Couldn't get 2024, so I got 2023. 227,000 nurses graduated in 2023. Now there's 1,000 less hospitals. So I'm just imagining 2024, roughly the same amount of people graduated, but there's 1,000 less hospitals. And now you're coming to the scene. You just graduated last year. You're coming to the scene and realize that there's no jobs. And you have $150,000 in student loan debt because you went to nursing school or you became a doctor or RNA and whatnot. Like it'll be impossible for you to ever have the American dream or buy a house. You're cooked. You have $150,000 worth of debt and then you can't even get a job. Are you going to have to leave the state? Or are you going to have to figure something out? Because there's 1,000 less hospitals. 1,000 less opportunities you have by the end of this year, by the way, as you as a nurse to find a job. This is why you cannot be lazy. The saints of the Most High, do not be lazy. There is few resources going on in the United States. Keep your job, look for more jobs, find something that AI can't take. Do not be lazy. Kaiser is laying off thousands of people. Despite they got record profits. Kaiser has record profits, and that's not the only company where CEOs and companies are getting record profits, but they're doing mass layoffs. So they don't care about you. AI is going to replace you, and we're going to get record profits, and that's less people we have to pay. So with the sense of the Most High, be diligent, be looking for those jobs, find that niche, come out of Babylon, get your passport, first of all, and start making process to come out of Babylon. Is winding down. So with all that said being done, keep standing, don't drop standards, give the Almighty hand clap. Shalom. Look, I'm leaving this comment. Look for this stuff. All right.